Okay, so these signs, water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, they get along nicely. They're all emotional, so they don't mess with each other. They flow with each other fairly well. But the Scorpio is the fixed water. It's the fall, autumn, the most social one. It's the most judgmental about trust and sharing. We're together. Are you committed or are you not? Are you trustworthy or not? You're mine. I see you. We're meant to be together. Let's sleep together. Let's make a commitment. Let's be here. So they can scare people and drive them away by being fixated, or they can be totally devastated by if they make a commitment and if you're not trustworthy and leave for someone else, their sense of privacy and their feelings gets very threatened and goes very deeply within. All of these water signs have a deep imagination, irrational emotional quality, and often they'll try to control it because it's too irrational to let it go out, but they keep it within themselves, and if you get close to them, you'll run across this emotional side. And if you're going to get close, you'll have to be a little emotional or catering to that emotions rather than threatening to it, or you end up like if a water sign gets angry, they hold a grudge forever. They make a judgment about it. They'll hold it for the longest time. And getting forgiveness, changing it's a lot harder. So the Scorpios get fixed in these judgments, in their desires, in their obsessions, in their determination that we're meant to be together. It's got to be this. We'll make these commitments, put everything in. I put everything in business or in relations. They make these commitments. And then if someone walks away, I give you everything. And how come you left? Or how come you're not, it doesn't compute to them. And then they get really angry or mad. They get, what was wrong? You're an idiot. How could you do this? They get very judgmental. And they get fixed in these judgments. They get very angry about it. So Scorpios can be very revengeful. All the water signs can hold on to their judgment and become revengeful. It's not rational, but it's a different quality. So there's a privacy, there's a feeling to a Scorpio. You can look in their eyes and you're not going to see dry eyes. You're going to see a definite feeling behind there, whether it's buried or whether it's, you know, you got to find it if it's steaming water, if it's freezing water, if it's just warm water, if it's flowing water. You're seeing it. But in the Scorpio, they get fixed in their judgments and in their determination, in their commitments. I mean, there's no sign that's more trustworthy than Scorpio. Have a commitment to have a relationship and know the person's not going to mess around you, they're going to be there. But if a Scorpio does mess around, they really know what they're doing, and then it gets to be a problem. So all the water signs, they can project their emotions very strongly, and they take in the impressions, but they take them so personally they easily get hurt. And then they blame the hurt on people. And then behavior builds around. But there's... when you're around emotional signs, it's very sensitive, very emotional. It's very nice. It's a nice feeling to be around them, except when the negative judgments come out. The Pisces have the adaptable emotions. We're just each layer builds up something, a texture of the sign. And so with the Pisces, you have the adaptable emotions. They have a feeling for everybody they know. They're as unique as all the people know. The Scorpios want to be with one person. Here's the commitment. We're in here. We're doing this. We're all 100% in. We feel it. You feel it? Yeah. Okay. Cancers are pushing for security. I want the security. You give it to me, you can come for you, and taking it away, you go. I'm pushing for it. Get out of my way. Pisces isn't pushy. It isn't fixed. It's sensitive to everybody's feelings. Oh, I can be kind in this place. I can be helpful in this place. Oh, I can't put up with this one. Oh, this person gets me in trouble. Or this. But they have a different feeling connected to everybody. They have very diversified, complex feelings. And they have the gift of compassion and kindness. But when it's negative, they have the gift, the curse of guilt and sorrows. When any of the water signs are sad, it's like a country and western bar. Oh, poor me. Oh, geez, I should have done this. Oh, what happened? How could this happen? And they fester on it. They go into the feelings on it, and they brood on it. These are watery qualities. But when it's projecting, it's projecting emotions. It's being very magnetic. It's very sensuous. Oh, it has a strong appeal. Okay, so yeah, so each of these signs, they get along with each other. They're each sensitive. They don't mess with each other. They can understand each other's processing levels. Pisces will still be more evasive. Scorpios will be more fixed. And Cancers will be a little more pushy or dynamic or cardinal. So when we get to the earth signs, where are we? Okay, with the earth signs, you have the cardinal Capricorn, the fixed Taurus, and the mutable Virgo. These are the down to, so these qualities, the fire up in the air. Fire, energy to burn. That's the energy to burn is the fire sign. Rational, up in the air, thinking, planning, curious. Those are the air signs, ideas. And emotions, feelings, moods, sympathetic, gushy, too impressionable. These are all water things. The earth signs are down to earth and practical. So these expressions have come out of these elements. And they've been in our language for as long as it's been around, but it's come from these sources. So the earth signs are tactile. Tactile, they like sensation. They're very water signs are emotionally sensitive. Physical signs, earth signs are really physically sensitive. They like to touch. They like to be hugged. They like they like this high. This is really good touch. And let's do this again. They want to be healthy. They want to have things nice. The magic of earth signs in a relationship, they're always trying to make it more comfortable and make it a little bit better. But they don't like to go from the $50 bottle of wine down to a beer. They don't want to set up a really nice bed that's really great and then have crumbs in it. They all have their own style, but they have things that they like. They like to be hugged. Usually, a fixed sign, you usually got to touch. Sometimes they stand aloof because they don't want to be touched, because if they're touched, there's emotional expectations. But generally, you're dealing with earth sign, they like to be touched and hugged. It's physical and practical and down to earth, like money, security, comfort, touch. And why does that have, isn't that enough? So the Capricorn is driving to get, this isn't there, I'm not happy here. They're driving to make their world physically comfortable and secure and alive. And they'll listen to all the things in the world. Not everything's going to make you feel good, or not everybody's on your wavelength. So they're strategic, defensive, caution until they meet someone they respect. And they make the connection. Then they're very passionate physical sign. But they're just not going to be gushy or emotional like a Cancer would be, or a water sign would be. But they're driving for that practical, physical things. It can be very ambition. It can be very status-proved, status-oriented. They're driving for honor, for respect. And it can be, if your respect to the things you're driving for are material things, just money or just whatever, there can be handicaps because you're only thinking about money and not thinking about other things. But this is the driving to be practical, to make things happen, to be responsible and take care. It's obvious. We got to take care of this. We'll do that. I'll do this. I'll take care of this. I'll get involved. I'll get a job here. I'll work. I'll get good at it. I'll get involved. So that's the driving earth. We need something. I'll get it. And they're always listening for what the Capricorn has, a listening quality for what they can get. The Taurus is the fixers. I have these things. I want more. I like these nice things. I like this. I don't like that. They're judging very. It's what feels good, what's comfortable. Oh, it's so comfortable. I mean, Tauruses are more likely going to be 100% cotton, not polyester people, because they like the textures of things. The earth signs, as artists, they have a very sharp sense of colors, of bright, dark, light. They're very alive to the sensations. But because it's practical, they're not so open to some of the mystical sides. That has to come in time. But they like to be healthy, like to be physical, like to be comfortable. And the Tauruses like expensive and nice things. So they want to get the things, the practical things that they like. And if you can, the Capricorn sees the things they like, and she says, I'm going to have to work hard to get that. If I want to get that car, I'm going to have to work hard. If I want that house, I'm going to have to work for this. The Taurus, why work for it if you can charm for it? If I can just smile and be charming and people will give it to me, heck, why make the effort? So they have a stubborn side to it, but it always is a certain quality of what's worthwhile, what's not. If someone gets damaged, if someone's been psychologically battered or have drug problems or other things, you'll find these qualities, they're in extremes, but they also see them repressed to an extreme. But the physical side, they're the huggy bears. They're the ones, I want to be comfortable. The Taurus will go home, they'll have a nice comfort, they'll sit in the same chair at the table, they'll sit in the same chair in the living room all the time. They have their chair, they'll sleep on the same side of bed. They have their physical territory that they like. And when they're comfortable, they can share, they can give the things they want, but it is very self-centered. It's the I, me side. So Tauruses know what they like. They're not going to put up what they don't like. They can share things that other people would never think of sharing, because when they're in their heart, they can share the beautiful things that they have. Usually they have to accumulate them, and that's a stronger drive. It's harder to let go of them. That's the spiritual challenge. Virgo is the adaptable. So Taurus can like such nice things. Of course, if you like chocolate, you like wine, you like nice desserts, you can get all these things, but you're not going to stay thin. You're going to put on substantial weight. Then, so there's a cost for having all the things. Capricorns can do without, generally thinner. Taurus like too much time to put. Virgos are critical. They're very sensitive to their health. They're kind of hypochondriac. This is comfortable. This is not. Is this perfect? It's not perfect. They worry about things. So they're much more practical about diet, digestion, health. Some Virgos are real slobs, but they have a system for everything they do. They've got a practical thing. They know where their room may be a mess, but they know exactly where everything is. So this adaptable, practical Earth is self-critical. I want to be healthy. This wasn't comfortable. How can I do it better? What would be better? Is that okay? They have a practical side, and they're always adjusting around that. So that adjustment to improve things, well, that's practical to a Capricorn who's driving, but doesn't take all the time. They think they improve too much, but generally no hassle. And someone who has the nice things that they're going to have, these signs will get along with each other, generally. So they're in the same element. Like if you go to a meeting and everybody's there to learn how to make $1 million or how to visualize the gold or how to make proper investments, you'll see the Tauruses will all be there because they see the practical side that we're all in agreement of what we want to get more money, this practical thing, and they're learning the ways to do it. But the quality of the Earth, it's practical, it's physical, it's tactile, but it's not emotional. It's sensitive and it's very alive and sensitive, but not impressionable in the way that water signs take the impression, they sink down into it. Earth signs, they take the touch and that's it. That's enough. There it is, more practical. Okay, so those are the cardinal, fixed, mutable, fire, water, air, earth. 90% of the books on astrology will interpret the signs of the zodiac by the cardinal, fixed, mutable, fire, water, air, and earth, or 70% anyways. And they forget the daylight increasing, nighttime increasing, they forget the seasons. And the zodiac is really the seasons and how we're affected by the seasons that we're born in. So yeah, in the southern hemisphere it's different. We're going to come to that. But the next quality that we have to deal with is really the rulerships. So each category, daylight increasing, nighttime increasing, daylight is greater, nighttime is greater, spring, summer, fall, winter, the light half of each season, dark half of each season, then the masculine, feminine, then the cardinal, fixed, mutable, then the fire, water, air, earth, the elements, and then the rulerships. Now, the rulerships are based on the planets and the planetary nature, so we'll be going over this again, but it's difficult to do the rulerships without knowing the planets, but we have to start from somewhere. So the signs are affected by the planets, and much of the qualities of understanding deeper about the functions of the signs is based on the planets that rule those signs. So basically, each planet has one or two signs. Well, the sun and moon have one sign, but each of the other planets have two signs, a masculine and a feminine sign, that they can express their nature naturally and positively in. So two signs are their favorites, or the most natural, and those signs will express the qualities of that planet. Now, with rulerships, and if you're just doing an American, the logic is there's 12 signs, there's got to be 12 planets, and it's going to be a different planet rule each sign. That's the modern Western logic. Really, the traditional way, which is both in the old Vedic and in the older systems, is the planets you see are the ones that can be really dignified or can rule. You have the sun, the moon, and 5 planets that you can see: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They're the ones we see in the sky. They're the ones we notice. They're the ones that are our guiding lights. So in a way, the rulerships of the planet that rules a sign is the guiding light of that sign. It's like the spiritual angel watching over that sign. And if you're being that sign, or you're relating to that sign, and you're qualifying it, and you're trying to make the nature of that planet, you're working with the nature of that planet and magnifying it, you'll get good support from that sign.